Wow, you guys, it really is make or break, ride or fly time for crypto. We have two simultaneous patterns, one bullish and one bearish, guys. We talked about this a few days ago in the last update, how there were so many mixed signals and so much up for interpretation. Here we have a descending wedge, which is a bullish pattern, as well as a head and shoulders, which is a very, very bearish pattern, guys. We need to dive into this and talk about where the future price of Bitcoin is heading. In fact, many of the crypto channels in the space are talking about a dump to not only 3,000, but potentially even 2,000 US dollars, guys. Is this realistic or is this just FUD and we have actually hit the bottom? Wow, I can't wait to get into it. I have never been more excited a day in my life. Wow, what's going on, everyone? Thanks so much for joining me here on this Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019. We have so much to dive into on the charts. Because Bitcoin is just playing mind games with us. It's like that girl down the street that keeps saying that she's India, but every time you text her, it's like, where's my text back? Guys, this is absolutely crazy. Can't wait to get into this. Before we jump into the video, I really want to get this out of the way, guys. We're still doing this giveaway. Going to be at the end of the month for this brand new sealed treasure. All you have to do is leave a comment. But guys, as well, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ding the bell, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, guys. It's getting really exciting. New month, new year, new me. Is there anything you guys are going to change about yourself? Guys, let's jump into the charts here. So before I get into my own charting, I really want to take a look at some ideas that we've been seeing floating around. Okay, so lately Magic P Cannon has been very bearish. And in fact, in this post, he talks about a breakdown, in his opinion, going all the way to the 3,000 level or lower, guys. And wow, this is something absolutely we need to talk about, because if that were actually to be the case, that would break the lows back in actually December of 2018, and then we broke the all-time highs in the summer. So it would actually break the lows of the December, January. 3,000 would be right around here, okay, and clearly the lows are here. So again, that would break the lows, and that would be absolutely crazy. Again, I don't subscribe to that fact at all. And in fact, I want to make a case for why in this video. I don't necessarily think we're going to get anywhere close to 3,000. However, we always have to keep possibilities open. Okay, and again, I just want to zoom out and just show you what that would look like on this chart here. That would literally put us down all the way down here. And what he's saying is even lower, potentially down to the 12, 13 range. So this box basically right here. Wow, now talk about a big drop, guys. So currently we're right around here, and they're saying potentially because of this head and shoulders that's forming and potential everything like that. Again, guys, I really do not even think we're going to even get anywhere close to that, and I really want to talk about that in this video. But again, I just do want to cover these few things before we jump into my own technical analysis. Technical analysis without the technicalities. That's what we're all here for. So basically, what he's saying here, according to this post that was posted just yesterday, Bitcoin has two conflicting formations, and I agree with that because it's very clear. We do have this descending wedge right here, which is a bullish pattern, but we also have this head and shoulders. You can see here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay, guys. And again, it's not necessarily news to everyone. We've been kind of talking about that for a while, but it is very interesting to note just how many different scenarios could play out because of these conflicting patterns here, guys. Keep that in mind. So if we take a look on my screen right here, we can kind of just show you what that looks like. Okay, guys. And another reason I don't necessarily like this pattern is because it's kind of dirty. It's kind of ugly. This is the pattern here. So here's the left shoulder here. The head is not a very pretty head. Clearly the head was higher here, and then we had the head here, and then whatever this is here. This is all part of the head here, and then this is the right shoulder here. So again, it's not a very pretty pattern, which again could give some credence to why it might not be super valid. Okay, but then the other thing we see is that descending wedge here as well. That's within that pattern. Again, you can see that here starting back in June of 2019. Basically this whole channel here. Okay, so basically this entire channel is somewhat of a descending wedge. Formerly it was possibly a bull flag. However, this bull flag has extended so long, whether or not that's still valid, I'm not sure. You can see a descending channel, descending wedge, whatever you want to call it. It is clearly a descending formation, okay? Something we've been talking about on this channel for a long time, okay? This right here, okay, guys? Now, again, before we really jump into this chart, I do just want to cover as well, a lot of people are saying we're going to see a potential dump, and a lot of people are throwing around the number of $3,000 range, guys. Now, that's critical. That's some serious stuff. People are saying that. You got to take that and really analyze that when people are saying that, because you have to realize where we are right now, where we've been this entire year of 2019, and where that number 3,000 really is. It's all the way down here, you guys. All the way down here. Now, this is 2019, right here and over, okay? And you notice one thing, we haven't been at 3,000 the entire year of 2019. Pretty much bottomed out in December of 2018, bottomed out in December of 18, and we've really been, we've been above that the entire year. Now, people calling for that, again, that's a very bearish scenario. I do think things aren't necessarily looking crazy bullish this week, on a weekly time frame, but I do want to just point out how very drastic that is, okay, guys? Now, that's not to say it's not possible, but it's something we really need to keep in mind is that it is very drastic, and just because we're getting some indicators right now and we're seeing some patterns right now doesn't mean this whole thing's going to go crazy. And again, I think some of the reasons why these numbers are getting called out is because I think they get views, they stimulate attention and everything. So again, I really don't think the fact we're at 7,300 right now to throw out the number 3,000 or even 2 or 1,000 to me is a little crazy. It's a little kind of like jumping the gun, okay? We got to get to 6,000 first and then 5,000, okay? We got a lot of thousands to go before we even get to those thousands. But now let's really just jump into this TA because this is where things all come together, and this is where things just get really, really, really nice, okay? So one thing, again, so far, we are still holding on this key 618, this golden pocket. We're hovering above it. This is the golden pocket right here between the 618 and the 65, okay? 0.618 and the 0.65. We're still hovering above that, okay? We're still finding support right on it. Now, that could break at any time. Clearly, you see these candles right here are coming down, or they seem to maybe want to come down, and that could be maybe be seen as a more bearish situation there. Okay, guys? And again, we're at some critical levels. We're right now sitting below the 21 daily, the 50 moving average, the 200 daily moving average. So things aren't looking really pretty in that sense, but we do have to keep in mind, we are still hovering around the bottom, hovering above this key market structure here, very key. We're still above this wedge, very key. And guys, keep in mind, all of those, even if we would break all of those, we would still be above 6,000, okay? So keep that in mind. So immediately jumping to say 3,000, 2,000, not necessarily super valid yet. Guys, we have to see what's going to happen, but let's actually zoom into the 4 hour and see the pattern playing out here. It really just looks like some higher lows right now, and we can draw that on here. Here we have the lows here, and as far as we have here, we have a high, we have a higher high, and currently we have some lower highs. Okay, so not really sure what's pattern playing out on the 4 hour there. Really just trying to find some support, if anything. You can see everything's just gravitating towards this center, the top of the 618, the golden pocket right there. I do think, guys, in the short term, I do think it is realistic that we see some downside, okay? And I do think it's also just as likely right now that we see a bounce. And I think that's why we see so many differing opinions right now. A lot of neutrality, a lot of this indecisiveness in the market, okay? And that's one of the reasons I think that, if anything, it is possible that we could be exiting and we could see some higher prices soon. But we have to keep in mind, again, guys, this is just my opinion. I really don't subscribe to the fact that, I really just don't subscribe to the fact that we're immediately going to go down to 3,000 within the next 2 months or so, or even the next 6 to 12 months. We're just going to be in a downtrend, or we're just going to go all the way to 3,000. I think that's jumping the gun a little bit. Clearly, we are struggling to find some bounce and some volume in the market. Okay, that's clear as well. Okay, and you can see this clear market structure we have here. Okay, this is these three upward sloping lines that I talked about. Okay, I'll just draw them here for you so you can see. Here's this one, here's the middle one, and here is, let's draw that a little bit better. And here is the top one right about there, guys. Okay, so those are key as well. And we found a little bit of resistance on there. Clearly, that's where we bounced off of back on the 29th, just a few days ago. And now we have actually found support above the bottom of this trend line. So as of right now, really just holding in there, because the possibility of 3,000 right now, guys, I'll say this as well. If we would go down to 3,000, boy, that would be very bearish. And honestly, things would be pretty drastic for a while. You'd probably have another year at the least to accumulate some really cheap cryptocurrencies all across the board. Okay, you could look on this CoinMarketCap and you would see some cheap prices for a long time if that's the case. Okay, if we break key market structure here and fall much below that, even going down to the 786 around 5,500, that's, again, I would be shocked if we even got down to there. But if we didn't get a bounce there, guys, that would be ridiculous. And to me, 3,000, just not buying it. Maybe absolute worst case doomsday scenario, 3,000 is possible. But guys, 1,000, which some people are calling for. In fact, that article I showed you mentioned 1,200 all the way down here. That would put us to the prices of back at the beginning of 2017. Okay. And we can actually, to end the video, we can zoom out and just see what that would look like. Okay, I'll just draw it on here. So maybe I can just kind of illustrate what that would look like, guys. Look at that. Now look, we'll zoom out and put it on the weekly, just so you can see. That would absolutely break the market structure of the entire trend of Bitcoin for like the last 10 years. Okay. Bitcoin has never really had a trend like that. That would be absolutely chaotic. And if that were the case, I think, wow, the entire world would absolutely go into chaos. So let me know what you think below, guys. Again, I don't think that's likely. I think we've probably, if we haven't found the bottom yet, I think we're at least within $1,000 or $2,000 of the bottom. So keep that in mind. I think we're at some key levels right now. And in fact, this could even be the bottom. We could be at the bottom right now. And I would not even be surprised, because to me it looks pretty natural, but at the same time we have to keep possibilities open. Anything can happen. Wow, thanks guys so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.